Other interesting business news, you had the federal government having yet another mandate to kneecap the automotive community, this time a mandate for rear passenger seat alerts, which, yes, can get pretty annoying pretty quick, and also, yay, more cost increase to the consumers. It is hilariously ironic, in a dark humor way perhaps, that the people who say they care most about the poor continuously push for more regulations and more things that will increase the cost of goods to the consumer, very similar to when Obama administration forced every car company to have a rear backup camera. Again, I think it's a good thing for vehicles to have, but I don't think it's the government's job to force that. And the free market was already doing that for most vehicles. It really just hurt the lower class because, again, the lower priced vehicles didn't have it there because, again, it's a cost increase. And yet again, this is something where I think a lot of cars are starting to have it on their own, but the government wants to force more stuff down our throats. Now, this comes to us thanks to Ronan, who's a writer at The Drive, and he says, quote, new federal law mandates rear passenger seatbelt alerts in new cars. They claim that the NHTSA says seatbelts reduce the risk of fatality. I understand that. For rear seat passengers by 55% for cars, 74% in SUVs, yet rear seatbelt use stands at about 81.7%. Now, off the bat, when I read the article here, we'll dive into in a second, but, well, get ready to pay for more sensors, which are more things that can break inevitably on your vehicle, as opposed to a parent just turning around and being a parent and looking at your kid and making sure they actually clicked the seatbelt in. Yeah. So again, at the very least, I'm guessing you're going to need either, if they want to do it properly in terms of not annoying the shit out of the customer, you're going to have a pressure plate or some type of sensor to see if there's pressure on the seat. And that way, ideally, the notification will go off if there's nothing in your seat. It's also going to be annoying as hell if you ever use your car to haul anything or doing grocery shopping. If you put stuff in your back seats and you don't put the seatbelt on, depending on the weight of that product or produce you put there, then you're going to get that annoying buzzing or ring. I can't help but think and hope it'll be an easy fuse to pull out of the fuse box, but I partially digress. Here you can see a little notification of what it could look like. It's got the, and I think the Honda already does this, the Odyssey. Now, they say, quote, starting September 1st, 2027, every new car and light truck sold in the United States, oh, farmers are going to love that, jeez, will feature an additional chime by law. The Department of Transportation announced that the rear seatbelt system reminders, which have been mandatory in Europe since 2019, will require in our market too. In late 2027, timeline suggests that car makers will have up until 2028 model year to comply with the new regulation, though it wouldn't surprise us if some companies roll this out feature across their ranges well before the deadline. While the industry has a proven track record of resisting change, adding a seatbelt reminder system to the rear seats should be relatively cheap and straightforward, given the technology already exists in present as well as many models. It's also going to increase the cost of goods sold. Again, a wise man by the name of Tao Sewell once said there's no such thing as solutions, only trade-offs, which this is, again, most certainly no use case of that theory being proven right. Now they say, pulling up this here, the same technology that beeps if you don't wear a seatbelt while driving, but it covers the rear seat passenger too. In a nutshell, the sensor detects that the seat is occupied, knows whether the seatbelt is buckled, and triggers the chime if it's not, which I don't recommend this. However, I can't but think a lot of people online will buy we actually have companies online that will sell you the end of the seatbelt, so just the clicky part, and they'll just put those in the back seat. If I had an SUV or something like that, I mean, I'm single, so I'm not sure the odds I would ever need one would be in terms of immediate future. Perhaps even then, I would want a stick shift, you know me. So, I mean, realistically, looking at an SUV, probably a 2009 Cayenne GTS with a V8 and a stick shift. Doesn't affect me, but nevertheless, imagine how annoying that is if you're hauling any groceries or any work supplies. Every time you throw stuff in the back seat, you gotta hear that chime the whole drive. Yeah, that'll be fun. Now, you know that the idea is that the chime is annoying enough to convince unbuckled passengers to buckle up, or at least make the driver beg them to. Sensors and the related wiring cost money, but the extra costs associated with the new regulation should be negligible at best. Yeah, and yet they don't give us a breakdown analysis of what those sensors cost. Also, another thing I don't like about modern cars, every time there's a new sensor, every time there's a new widget, inevitably it'll mean more cost to repair, more cost to maintain, and a less reliable vehicle overall. Can't but think peak reliability was 2001 era with Japanese automotive. Those cars just don't break. Cars still drive a 2001 Honda Accord that they bought new. That's bulletproof technology. Tried and proven, not too many bells and whistles, still works like a champ. But yeah, it looks like it'll be interesting to see if there's really any pushback from the community. Maybe I'm alone in this assessment. Probably not, but let's look at the comments here. One of the first comments comes from Dave saying, quote, "Ugh, I put stuff in the backseat all the time. This is going to get annoying really quick. Getting 8 likes," which, again, I think in those situations, you'll go online, I think like $5 to $13. You can buy the buckle of the belt and just, you'll have an extra one, you'll just click it in all of them. I think for most people, that'd be the, and again, I don't recommend this, but I would think I would do that, or I'd pull the fuse if that's possible, or detach the sensor. There's usually a way to work around this crap. You also have Surefire321 saying, "Are there provisions to address child seats in the rear? Do I have to buckle the factory belt before installing the child seat with latch points? I'm all for safety, but this seems regulation for regulation's sake, getting 3 likes." Or some parts of the government perhaps want a futile attempt to show that they do things. Going down more and more, Ashley McBride says, "I think people will buckle their rear belts all the time and leave them." Yeah, people aren't going to buckle up. They can't be convinced. Legislating it feels fine, but don't expect it to actually accomplish anything. Getting 2 likes. Landforce says, "Time for the Eds to F off. I wear my seatbelt, but the chime is annoying. Thankfully, I'll be able to use a tuner to disable it in my Gladiator." Getting 4 likes. Yep. Phone says, time to put seatbelts on your luggage, everyone. Getting 4 likes. Yep. So, yeah, there's more than 2 folks agreeing, but overall, yeah, people are seeing the downside of this. And of course, I understand this. If you're a really bad parent, this very well might assist. Or if maybe you have a child who's more rebellious and they undo the buckle. I understand it has good intentions, but the age-old saying is, we all know that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So we'll see if there's any real pushback from the automotive community, or if any of them do any lobbying or legislating, or if there's just a visceral pushback from the general public that the government backs off. We'll see what happens. I think there's going to be a lot of regulation with the new Trump administration when it comes to automobiles. Hopefully deregulation, because that usually decreases cost and boosts innovation. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think this should be something that's forced down manufacturers and consumers? Let me know, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and have a Merry Christmas.